Oh, there's a cat. That scared me. Hi, kitty. Hello, everybody. It is day 2 of Vlogmas, and I thought today I would go over the ARCs that I have received throughout 2019, none of which I've read. I don't know that much about them, so I will just link to them in the description so you can read more about them. But the first book I have is from Simon & Schuster. Let's see. Temper by Laurie Farias. It's a little bit hard to read on the actual cover. It's a little, yes. So this came out on July. I'm sure I got it before then, but you know me. Never, yeah. Don't count on me to read ARCs and like get reviews out on time, because I've actually barely been reading the last half of the year, which is really weird. Like, there's still so many books that came out that I wanted to read, but I've just been not quite in a reading slump. I've just been so much focused more on revising my book and like doing any beta reading that my will to read faded by the time summer hit. But I did read a lot before then. Just, you know, all these ARCs came to me at like the wrong time. Alright, so Temper, this says, I wish. Okay, well, okay, so the insert has more information about it, so I will read this. It's from Scout Press under Simon & Schuster. If I could unfold this insert, that would be lovely. Alright, so this is it's a thriller about female ambition and what happens when fake violence draws real blood. So that's an interesting concept. After years of struggling in the Chicago theater scene, ambitious actress Kira Rasher finally lands the role of a lifetime. The catch? Starring in Temper means working with Malcolm Mercer, a mercurial director who's known for pushing his performers past their limits, on stage and off. Kira's convinced she can handle Malcolm, but the theater's co-founder, Joanna Kyler, is another story. Joanna sees Kira as a threat to her own thwarted artistic ambitions, her twisted relationship with Malcolm, and the shocking secret she's keeping about the upcoming production. But as opening night draws near, Kira and Joanna both start to realize that Malcolm's dangerous extremes are nothing compared to what they're capable of themselves. So, I think this one sounded interesting because of the, you know, the acting, the stage production, storyline, and just, yeah, I don't know. I like thrillers that are psychological in nature, so that's what this sounds like. And I'm still going to read this. Just know that it's already out and available to read. And if you have already read it, let me know what you thought of it, because I'm still going to read it. It'll probably just be 2020 by the time I get to it. Sorry. Okay. I have nowhere to put these books. I'm just gonna put them in my lap. Okie dokie then. Alright. Oh yeah. Okay, the next one was from Macmillan. You know I can never say things. So this one was a copy of Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, the sequel to Dance of Thieves. This one came out in August, and I did not read it. I don't think I've read Dance of Thieves. So this is a sequel to Dance of Thieves. I really can't say that much about it because I feel like even reading about the sequel will kind of spoil a little bit of the first book. So just know that this is a sequel. So I will probably be picking up Dance of Thieves before I read this one. Let me know if you've read Dance of Thieves or the sequel Vow of Thieves, because these sound interesting. But yeah, so just let me know if you've read either of these, or you know, if anybody wants to buddy read any of these books with me, just let me know, because I love buddy reading, and I don't think I did a single buddy read in 2019. I was just kind of off on my own, doing my own reading. So probably why I ended up not reading any of these arcs. Okay, let's see. This one, oh yeah, I was actually excited for this one. I haven't read it though. So this one is from the publisher Inkshares, and it's Violet by Scott Thomas. Very interesting cover. And this one sounded really good, like a very interesting thriller, horror, like it's supposed to be scary. So you know me, I love scary things. So let's see if I can read it with shiny covers. For many children, the summer of 1988 was filled with sunshine and laughter. But for 10-year-old Chris Barlow, it was her chance to say goodbye to her dying mother. 3 decades later, loss returns, her husband killed in a car accident. And so Chris goes home to the place where she first knew pain, to that summer house overlooking the crystal waters of Lost Lake. It's there that Chris and her 8-year-old daughter will make their stand against grief. But a shadow has fallen over the quiet lake town of Passington, Kansas. Beneath its surface, an evil has grown. And inside that home where Chris Barlow last saw her mother, an old friend awaits her return. I'm like, what? So yes, it's a pretty hefty book with tiny print, but it's kind of like creepy and yeah, grief, family bonding, but I'm looking forward to the creepy aspect. And yeah, this one came out in September, so I think I had planned to read it for like the creepy autumn season. Didn't happen, but you know, it's here and it still sounds good to me, so I will still have no problem reading it. All right, the next one is from Crown, from under Random House. So it's The Lost Causes of Bleak Creek by Rhett McLaughlin and Link Neal. Aren't those the people who do Rhett and Link on YouTube? I don't know what their channel's actually called. I've watched them a couple times though. So this is their book? How interesting. Okay. Let me see. There is an insert for this one. Stranger Things meets the South. Chilling, hilarious, and suspenseful. A thrilling novel with a unique blend of humor, suspense, and nostalgia about 2 best friends fighting the sinister forces at the heart of their southern town. Okay, that's cool. And yeah, their social platforms are at Rhett and Link. So that's actually really cool that they wrote a book, and it's a humorous suspense novel. That actually sounds really cool. So this one came out October, and that's probably perfect for the October season. I'm actually, okay, like horror is one of my favorite genres, but I also really love comedy horror. Okay, sorry, had to change camera angles, but yes, I love comedy horror. I love parody horror. So like, I don't know, this just sounds like kind of right up my alley, and it's just kind of fun to think that this is, you know, like a YouTuber's book, just a channel of YouTubers books. I don't know, but yeah, came out in October. Bleak Creek. Those are mostly the ones that came out in summer and fall, but let me keep going. I told you guys there was a lot, and I didn't read a single one. I'm horrible. Okay, from St. Martin's Press. I get to recycle all this stuff now. This stuff has just been like sitting in my room. Okay, this one is The Widow of Rose House by Diana Biller. On sale October, so also an October read, and I think it's hi Melly. So this is a historical novel that's suspenseful, like suspense romance, historical suspense romance. It just sounded really interesting, and I enjoy the cover. It's very nice. In New York, 1875, a charismatic genius, an intrepid widow, and a romance full of lust and longing come together in this effervescent historical novel full of suspense and swoon. Can one woman give up the ghosts of her past and let love in? Only love can light up the dark. Okay, but what is this book about? I don't like descriptions that are like that, where I'm like, okay, you told me the genre, but you didn't tell me anything about what the plot is. Like, but anyway, if historical suspense romance is up your alley, then The Widow of Rose House sounds interesting. Like, I'm still gonna read it because I read everything. I do like historical novels, and I don't read as many as I'd like, I guess, is the thing. This one's a big one. What is it? These books are from Liverite under W&W Norton and Company. They sent me 2 books. They look very interesting. These look like non-fiction, so very interesting. Okay, so this one is called The In-Betweens by Mira Ptassin. Is the P silent? Tassin? The Spiritualists, Mediums, and Legends of Camp Etna. A young writer travels to Maine to tell the unusual story of America's longest-running camp devoted to mysticism and the world beyond. How interesting. And there are, like, some pictures inside, so that's kind of cool. Like, historical nonfiction and going into the history of that. I'm very interested in that because, you know, spiritualists, mediums. I have heard of Camp Etna, so that's actually really interesting. Does this say when it came out? October. Kind of perfect for, again, the autumn season. I just was not reading anything. But this one actually sounds like a really fun nonfiction. And this one also looks like a nonfiction. Mudlark by Laura Makelum. In search of London's past along the River Thames. Thames. River Thames? I'm American, who knows? I like the covers of these books. They're very nice, like very kind of aesthetic and simple. A quixotic journey through London's past, Mudlark plumbs the banks of the Thames to reveal the stories hidden behind the archaeological remnants of an ancient city. Long heralded as a city treasure, expert mudlarker Laura Makelum is uniquely trained in the art of seeking. Tirelessly trekking across miles of the Thames' muddy shores where others only see the detritus of city life, Makelum unearths evidence of England's captivating, if sometimes murky, history, with some objects dating back to 43 AD, when London was but an outpost of the Roman Empire. From medieval armor worn by warriors on English battlefields to 19th century glass marbles mass-produced for the nation's first soda bottles, Makelum deduces the historical significance of these artifacts with the quirky enthusiasm and sharp-sightedness of a 21st century Sherlock Holmes, seamlessly interweaving reflections from her own life with meditations on the art of wandering. Makelum ultimately delivers, for Anglophiles and history lovers alike, a memorable treatise on the objects we leave in our wake and the stories they can reveal if only we take a moment to look. How very interesting. This one came out in November. So these are both out right now. Very interesting nonfiction. A look at spiritualists and mediums, and a look at mudlarking, which I'm not sure I've ever heard of, but that sounds fascinating, looking at historical objects, figuring out what they were used for. So yeah, The In-Betweens and Mudlark. Very, very interesting. See, so many of these books sound interesting, and then that's why, like, I'm excited to get them. And then I don't read them. Trust me, it bothers me. If it bothers anybody else, it bothers me too. Don't worry. Don't you worry. This was Penguin and Random House. Oh yeah. This one just came out this month. A Madness of Sunshine by Nalini Singh. Look at this cover, so very pretty. I love the orange and the yellow and green, the sunset. It's just very pretty. And it sounded very interesting. On the rugged west coast of New Zealand, Golden Cove is more than just a town where people live. The adults are more than neighbors, the children more than schoolmates. That is until one fateful summer, and several vanished bodies, shatters the trust holding Golden Cove together. All that's left are whispers behind closed doors, broken friendships, and a silent agreement not to look back. But they can't run from the past forever. 8 years later, a beautiful young woman disappears without a trace, and the residents of Golden Cove wonder if their home shelters something far more dangerous than an unforgiving landscape. It's not long before the dark past collides with the haunting present, and deadly secrets come to life. So yeah, this is a suspense. It sounds really interesting, and it is a standalone novel, which I find really good. You know, a lot of suspense novels, mystery novels are, but so many I find nowadays are parts of series or the starts of series, and it's nice to see one that's like, yeah, no, this is just a standalone mystery with its own setting and characters. And I love when it sounds like the setting itself is kind of going to be a character in the book. I love that type of thing. So yeah, A Madness of Sunshine. Yes, so this one just came out this month. So again, yes, for any of these books that have already come out, if anybody wants to do a buddy read at some point, let me know. And I believe the rest of these books that I have are coming out in 2020. So ahead of time, if you see any of these books that sound interesting and you want to buddy read them with me, I will wait to read them until the month they actually come out. And like, if I have a buddy read to read them with, I will actually read them, is my hope. Okay, so from Wednesday books, Jane Anonymous by Laurie Farias. I like this cover. It's very interesting. So it says Some Truths You Can Never Escape. This one comes out in January. Very, very tiny print. Where's my magnifying glass? Let's see. A revelatory confessional of a 17-year-old girl's fight to escape a kidnapper and her struggles to connect with loved ones and a life that no longer exists. 7 months. That's how long I was kept captive. Locked in a room with a bed, refrigerator, and adjoining bathroom. I was instructed to eat, bathe, and behave. I received meals, laundered clothes, and toiletries through a cat door, never knowing if it was day or night. The last time I saw the face of my abductor was when he dragged me fighting from the trunk of his car. And when I finally escaped, I prayed I'd never see him again. Now that I'm home, my parents and friends want everything to be like it was before I left. But they don't understand that dining out and shopping trips can't heal what's broken inside me. I barely leave my bedroom. Therapists are clueless and condescending, so I start my own form of therapy. But writing about my experience awakens uncomfortable memories, ones that should have stayed buried. How far will I have to go to uncover the truth of what happened, and will it break me forever? Very interesting. It's gonna be kind of a thriller and suspense, but coming from someone who is looking back on it, it's going to be a little bit different than the usual type of books with this kind of a storyline. You know, it's kind of going to be, I guess, a reflection on the trauma that happened to her, and just like psychologically that fascinates me. So yes, Jane Anonymous by Laurie Farias, and that comes out next month in January. So I'm really interested in this one, and it sounds very, very interesting. I haven't said like the category that any of these are for, but like, you know, that one's probably young adult. All right, what is this one? Oh, another one from Wednesday Books. Diamond City by Francesca Flores. The cover is very, very, very pretty. Good things don't happen to girls who come from nothing, unless they risk everything. Meet Aina Solis, whose wit is as sharp as her blade. 18-year-old Aina is a professional assassin with a bounty on her head. In an industrial wasteland full of half-constructed subway tunnels, blood magic, secret markets, and wolf-sized spiders, only one girl holds the power to change her city forever. So, this is... I like that there's an author's note at the front of this. Diamond City, at its core, is about a girl who perseveres through poverty, violence, and loss to achieve a future for herself. She struggles between deciding whether her best chance at survival is hiding behind what she's been conditioned to believe she deserves or reaching toward what she wants. It's a story about the difference between healthy love and toxic love and learning to fight for something bigger than yourself, and about giving a voice to the poor. How very interesting. So this is kind of like, I'm gonna say like an urban fantasy, or I was gonna say contemporary fantasy, but it's alternate contemporary fantasy. I don't even know if it's contemporary. Sounds like it's like dystopian in nature a little bit, but it has blood magic and industrial wasteland and fantastical creatures and secret markets. So it's definitely got some fantasy in there, but that sounds interesting. I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but just based on what the author has said right there, I'm like, oh, okay, I am interested in this. I wonder if it's the first in a series. More than likely. Okay, so this one comes out next month in January. So again, if anybody wants to buddy read, Diamond City by Francesca Flores comes out next month. I like a lot of the books that come out from Wednesday Books, I've noticed. They are one of those publishers that I genuinely enjoy most of the books I pick up from them. So they've quickly become one of those like go-to publishers for me. From Penguin Random House, Minor Dramas and Other Catastrophes by Kathleen West. Rumors and power plays rule this school, and that's just the parents. When a devoted teacher comes under pressure for her progressive curriculum and a helicopter mom goes viral on social media, two women at odds with each other find themselves in similar predicaments, having to battle their way back from certain social ruin. Isabel Johnson has spent her career at Liston Heights sidestepping the community's high-powered families, but when she receives a threatening voicemail accusing her of anti-Americanism and a liberal agenda, she's in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Julia Abbott, obsessed with the casting of the school's winter musical, makes an error in judgment that has far-reaching consequences for her entire family. Brought together by the sting of public humiliation, and in response to a secret Facebook page created as an outlet for parent grievances, Isabel and Julia learn firsthand how entitlement and competition can go too far in an unforgettable debut novel that addresses parents behaving badly and teenagers speaking up even against their own families. Oh, how interesting. I don't know that this would normally be a book I would pick up, but this sounds interesting. This one comes out February. Minor Dramas and Other Catastrophes. I like that. Alright, we are almost done. Another one from Random House. The King at the Edge of the World by Arthur Phillips. Look at this cover. I just love the... Okay, so this is another historical fiction. The year is 1601. Queen Elizabeth is dying, childless. The nervous kingdom has no heir. It is a capital crime even to think that Elizabeth will ever die. Potential successors secretly maneuver to be in position when the inevitable arrives. The leading candidate is King James VI of Scotland, but there is a problem. The Queen's spy masters, hardened veterans of a long war on terror and religious extremism, fear that James is not what he appears. He has every reason to claim he is a Protestant, but if he secretly shares his family's Catholicism, then the last 40 years of religious war will have been for nothing, and a bloodbath will ensue. With time running out, London confronts a seemingly impossible question. What does James truly believe? It falls to Geoffrey Belloc, a secret warrior from the hottest days of England's religious battles, to devise a test to discover the true nature of King James' soul. Belloc enlists Muhammad Ezzedine, a Muslim physician left behind by the last diplomatic visit from the Ottoman Empire, as his undercover agent. The perfect man for the job. Ezzedine is the ultimate outsider. Stranded on this cold, wet, and primitive island, he will do almost anything to return home to his wife and son. Arthur Phillips returns with a unique and thrilling novel that will leave readers questioning the nature of truth at every turn. Okay, so this is like a spy thriller in Elizabethan England. Okay, okay. I have never read anything by Arthur Phillips, but this sounds interesting, and it's not that big of a book. Historical spy thriller. I don't know. I'm kind of here for it. I'm here for it. All right, so this one also comes out in February. Historical spy thriller, The King at the Edge of the World. I like it. I like it. All right, and I think I have one more. Oh yes, I was really excited for this one. Coming out February. Ink in the Blood by Kim Smejkal. I'm sorry, that's a last name I cannot pronounce. Very shiny, very shiny. Ink in the Blood. Yes, I think I first heard about this one at Y'all West, and I was like, I really like the sound of this one. So it says, one performance that can change your destiny. A lush, dark YA fantasy debut that weaves together tattoo magic, faith, and eccentric theater in a world where lies are currency and ink is a weapon. See, already I was just like, okay, yes, fantasy and tattoo magic. I'm there. I don't even need to know the plot for that. The concept of that, I'm there for it. Okay. Celia Sand and her best friend Anya Bertoni are inklings for the esteemed religion of Profeta. I'm not gonna be able to talk after talking so much right now. Using magic, they tattoo followers with beautiful images that represent the divine's will and guide the actions of her recipients. It's considered a noble calling, but 10 years into their servitude, Celia and Anya know the truth. Profeta is built on lies. The tattooed orders strip away freedom, and the revered temple is actually a brutal, torturous prison. Their opportunity to escape arrives with the Rabble Mob, a traveling theater troupe. Using their inkling abilities for performance instead of propaganda, Celia and Anya are content for the first time, until they realize who has followed them. The divine they never believed in is very real, very angry, and determined to use Celia, Anya, and the Rabble Mob's now infamous stage to spread her deceitful influence even further. To protect their new family from the wrath of a malicious deity and the zealots who work in her name, Celia and Anya must unmask the biggest lie of all, Profeta itself. I love this one already. And I think it's also supposed to be queer. Just putting that out there. So yeah, February, this one comes out. So yes, if anybody wants to buddy read this with me, I will for sure be reading this one in and around the time it comes out. But yes, this one is supposed to be queer of some sort. I believe. Not sure why I'm thinking that. Maybe the person who told me about it at Y'all West told me that, but yes. I'm missing a book. I know I am, because it was one of the other books I was really excited about for 2020. Let me go find it. I knew I did. I could remember what it was called, but I remembered the cover. And it's like one of my most anticipated for 2020, besides Ink in the Blood. Like, this one was like already on my 2020 list, so I was really excited to get that book. Like, sometimes when you make friends at Y'all West, like, it's really nice. I don't talk to people very often, but when I do. All right, another Wednesday books one. This is why, like, I like Wednesday books, and I'm excited for this one. So this is Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez, and I just want you to know it's one of those colorful, like, illustrated covers that are just like the trend right now, especially for young adult books, and I really like it. And I just remember reading the summary of it, and I was just like, yes. All right, so this one comes out March, so gotta wait. I have it, so like I'm excited for it. Okay, so what they say is this is Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda meets Clueless in this boy meets boy spin on Grease, and I'm just like, yes, please. Summer love gone so fast. Ollie and Will were meant to be a summer fling, casual, fun, and done. But when Ollie's aunt's health takes a turn for the worse and his family decides to stay in North Carolina to take care of her, Ollie lets himself hope this flame can grow to something more. Dreams that are crushed when he sees Will at a school party and finds that the sweet and affectionate and comfortably queer guy he knew from summer isn't the same one attending Collinswood High. Will is more than a little shocked to see Ollie the evening of the first day of school. While his summer was spent being very much himself, back at school he's simply known as one of the varsity basketball guys. Now Will is faced with the biggest challenge of his life: follow his heart and risk his friendships, or stay firmly in the closet and lose what he loves most. So Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, which I have not read, haven't even seen the movie, but like I know of it, meets Clueless with a spin on green, and it just sounds cute, and yes, and you know, it's got one of like my favorite colors in the background, and so I love the color. Only mostly devastated, and I feel like that's such a great quote. Young adult romance, LGBT, that is how they categorize it. So yes, another one from Wednesday Books. They gave this one to me with a Wednesday Books bookmark, so that's really cool. But yes, this is why, in terms of like young adult books, Wednesday Books is kind of one of my favorite publishers right now. So yes, this is a huge stack of books. So yes, especially for the ones coming out in 2020. If anybody wants to buddy read those with me, I can wait until the month they are released to buddy read with people, because let's just face it, like I'm kind of behind anyway. So like by the time I actually get to those ones, it'll be the month they are released. So like, what are you gonna do? And as far as the ones that have already released, once again, if you want to do buddy reads, let me know. And if there are any books that are coming out in 2020 or that have been released in the last half of the year that like I haven't talked about, because I haven't really been talking about books this year, that you are interested in and that you think I would like, let me know. I'm always up for recommendations. Doesn't matter age category, genre, because I read everything. But yes, so if there are recommendations for books that you've read or that you've heard of that you think I would like, I love getting book recommendations. And if there's anything that you want to buddy read specifically with me, like you have a book in mind and you think, wow, yeah, KJ would like that book, let me know. I'm always up for buddy reading. Okay, this whole thing is just me asking for buddy reads for the next year, because I miss doing that this year, and I haven't posted like a single reading vlog or update in 2019. I've been reading and I've been vlogging. I just didn't post anything, so we'll see when I actually get to post those. Maybe it'll be a little bit part of Vlogmas, or maybe I'll just start off 2020 going over what I read in 2019. I like to do things the wrong way. Alright, so that's it for right now. These are the arcs I have received in 2019. This is it. I have nothing else to do for Vlogmas Day 2, so just buddy reads, let me know. I don't know. Tomorrow I think I'm going to talk about some AuthorTube books that I have. I may also talk about some 2020 releases that I am excited for. So besides the ones that I already have, like some that I'm looking forward to in like the first quarter, because there's always a lot like every month. I'm just going to try to pare it down to like one book in every genre if possible. Like, you know me, I have a lot of book interests, and I'm like all the books. And I'll try to go beyond the category of YA, because I have books on my list that are not. They're not always the ones that I'm like most looking forward to. You know what I mean? All right. So yes, this is it for day 2 of Vlogmas. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed hearing about some of these books. Maybe some of them are new to you and you would like to pick up some of them. That's always my hope in talking about books, is, you know, sharing the book love, even though I have not read any of these yet. Like, they sound good, I'm excited for them, and I guess they'll be part of my reading vlogs for 2020 at this point. So thank you very much for watching. As always, give this video a like if you liked it, and comment down below with anything, if you've read these books, what you thought of it. If you want to buddy read any of these, if there's any book recommendations you have for me or any buddy reads for 2020 that you already have in mind, let me know. Let me know. KJ wants to do all the buddy reads this year. I just want to do more reading in 2020. That's my goal. That's my goal.